Yes, hello! It is the 10th of April, and as most of you will know, the 10th is my traditional day for having a walk around the yard and showing you any progress from the previous month. So, shall we do that right now? Let's start with Kev, the Custard missile. You may well know this car is actually for sale in all of its glorious different shades of yellow. Today my plan was to give it another wash and try and remove some of these sticker glue bits that have come up because of the dirt. Not entirely removing all of the sticker residue means that the old Rover Revival stickers are starting to come back somewhat, and now it looks like Craig's car again, but it's not. But unfortunately it's still mine, even though it is up for sale. I've had lots of people inquire about it, but none being that serious enough to actually come up with the proper money until now, which is why today I thought I would dedicate myself to giving this car a clean, except of course, as you can see, I haven't started, and the good reason for that is that now we seem to have a little problem with Mr. Alternator down there. Yes, if you're going to buy a car, whether it be yellow or otherwise, you need the alternator to work to charge the battery. Otherwise, when you turn the engine off, it won't turn back on again very easily. And that's a bit of an inconvenience because I don't currently have an alternator. Well, actually, I have 4 alternators. One of them's in Nigel, one of them's in Alfie, the other's in Christine. And then the other one doesn't really work because it's seized up. So, tomorrow's video will be me tackling that. So let's move on to the next thing. Transit face, still doing its job. Not very often, I might add, but a couple of occasions this previous month it's basically been paying its wages. But really what this vehicle needs is to be out on the road every other day. But that presents me with one small problem. How am I going to have it on the road every day? I use it for transporting my own vehicles or for getting rid of them, and that doesn't happen very often, so the rest of the time it just sits here doing nothing. But yet somehow it's managed to give itself a bald tyre doing nothing in the yard. It's achieved flat tyres all by itself, which is one thing, but going bald, that's quite interesting indeed. Not only that, this handle stopped working, and as you can see I haven't even got around to do anything with it. And the winch was giving me some issues the other week as well. Yeah, it just decided not to work, and I don't know exactly what the problem was. And I've only just remembered that there was a problem in the first place, just when I was looking at it just then. Project Marjorie here hasn't moved in a month, and that's a shame, but it will be moving soon because I'm really keen on this car. You wouldn't think it, being as I haven't done anything with it, but obviously I do have a small issue with this car. It doesn't really run properly. It does start and it drives, and I can't see anything obvious that would help it fail its MOT. But I really like it actually, and I've got a feeling that I can. I've got an image of me actually having this car as my own. Never mind fixing it to flog on. I like the seats, the proper hard seats, the comfortable seats that clamp you to the seat. And I remember having one of these before, and it was the only thing that would help with my sciatica. And this car, of course, is a 1990 car, and the older the better as I see it. I want to take it for a drive. I want to take it for a drive right now, actually. There we go. I've driven it from one end of the yard to the other, and I'm satisfied. It drives quite nicely. I just wish it run a bit better. That has to be sorted out. Not sure why, but I've got a real fondness for this one. I like all of the R8s and I like all of my cars, but this one I think is going to be my car. I can feel it. Yes. I need actually to spend some time on it, but unfortunately at the moment I have things that are a priority, things that make money, and that's what I need if I'm to stay down here at Project Nigel headquarters. The next car I would like to talk about is indeed Project Max. There we go. Another car that I have a proper soft spot for, even with its current dents. And the dents are quite significant. My plan is to fix these dents by sticking panels on that don't have dents, of which I have. But I haven't got around to it because, again, it's one of those things where it's not really a priority. It's supposed to be my own car, it's in my name, it's on Sawn, and I'm not using it, which is a bit of a waste. Now, due to my position here and needing to have things to sell in order to make any kind of living, I'm going to offer this car up for sale right now. This is another one of those cars where I climb inside it and think, oh, I just want to go for a drive in this. I love this thing. I love the R8. I love the style of the interior, and this one being completely blue makes it really quirky as well. 416 GTI with an automatic gearbox. In some ways, it's another car that's perfect for me because I like the booted version of the R8 more than the hatchback. But this is a complete working car with MOT, and if I can sell this, it will dig me out the poo a little bit. So that's the plan. In its current condition, with a spare wing and 2 spare doors that aren't dented, I'm going to offer it at £900. So if you know anybody interested, do let me know. There we go, Project Max. 416 GTI, rare car. Buy it before I change my mind. That's an MG ZT seat, and sometimes, you know, I like to just sit on here and reflect on the world around me. It's a wonderfully comfortable outdoor seat to use. It's even more comfortable when it's not soaking wet, and currently it's not soaking wet. But as you can see right behind me, we have another car, and that is the Rover 45, known as Project Christine. There's been no progress with this car, unfortunately, but it does look nice sat in the yard with this unusual green colour, and it's peeling lacquer on the roof, and the green carpets and the green seats. I do like a bit of colour. Just check the hole in the floor is still there. Of course it is. That's why this car is still here. Yeah, this car does need fixing, but without the welding gear myself, I can't even begin to tackle it. So it's still not sure when it's going to be. So there is a possibility of me even selling this one out as well as a project, and it has to be a project. There's no point in it going for spares because it's such a rare car. This being a post-production press release car in this unusual colour with a few extra things on it. Are they extra things? Oh no, they're not really extra things, but this car was what the Rover 45 was supposed to be. But then of course, when they put it into full production, they started taking things off, which is a shame. Because it is nice with its full electric windows and the illuminated keyring ignition barrel. That's it, a little red ring around the ignition barrel. I like that sort of thing. Why did they stop doing that? Well, yeah, I know, because to save money. And now, to reveal the pride of the fleet, a Vauxhall Corsa 3-cylinder. Now, in case you haven't gathered, that was a joke. Yep, because this car, isn't really mine. I'm just going to take a cut out of it when I sell it. But selling it is the tricky part, because I've put this car up for £500 spares or repair, and it's had plenty of interest. But every single time it's somebody just flinging 250 my way. Now, yesterday I had somebody do that, so I had a look on their profile, and they had a slightly newer Vauxhall Corsa for £1,200. And what I meant to do was ask, take 600 for it. to put it into perspective on how cheeky and obnoxious that can be. Somebody just flinging a number at you like that without even asking. You know, it's that's people for you. That's Vauxhall. Also new to the yard is this one, Project Amy Winehouse. It is a rather sad looking old motor with all of its lack appeal there. It's quite an interesting effect actually. It reminds me of some sort of Hollywood hillside or something like that. But down here we have corrosion, and we have more corrosion, and then we have a bit more corrosion and a flat tyre and no lacquer at all, and then more lack appeal and more corrosion. It's quite consistent actually, I'll give it that. Inside it's a bit mucky with its dual window control there, but that's not my main issue with this. This car has a snapped cam belt and a seized water pump. So I need to acquire a water pump and a cam belt in order to see whether this car can be fixed. But due to its condition, and due to the fact that I've never heard the engine running, I'm on the lookout for a second-hand belt, because I don't want to be spending money on something that turns out to be no good anyway. I hope you understand that. Yeah. But it's still a working car. Well, let's talk about it. It's not a working car at all, is it? No, I wonder if that sunroof works. It does have loads of MOT on it. And even in its condition, I think maybe somebody would actually want the thing. So I've got to give it a chance when I can. There's Derrick. Not really any progress with this. And again, I still haven't even cleaned it. But I have been down to underneath the back seat to check out the fuel pump and to find that basically it's not getting any power. And that could just be the cause of it not running. But actually that's definitely the cause of it not running, because if there's no fuel being pumped into the engine, it can't really run at all, can it? No. There's another one of these cars that when I've got the time, I'll come back to it. Similar thing with Frank, really. It's not moved anywhere. I was a bit stuck. Last time I had it running, still runs, still sounds rough. There's only so many things you can do with it. But before you have to start spending money. And having a lockup full of parts over there, I'm always in the habit of not spending any money on parts because I've already got the parts. But this needs a part that I don't have. I believe it needs the air intake sensor looking at. Who's this one? Jasper. It's Jasper. Jasper's had only a couple of things happen. One, it's had a boot change. You can see that's not the same colour as it was before, and that's because somebody has bought the suit from me. No, they haven't. They've bought the boot. They haven't bought a suit. I don't sell suits. So that boot has gone, and that door has also gone. And you may be wondering, well, how come it's still there? I can assure you that door has been sold, and it's now in another car. Yeah, it just doesn't look like it, because this is the door off the other car, which is, he just brought it along and said, yeah, put that one on in the meantime, which is good because it means I don't get water inside the car at the moment, because it's not ready for that proper strip down just yet. Since this time last month, 2 cars have indeed entirely gone, and those were Project John, the MGZT in Trophy Blue, and also the Rover 45 known as Project Waster. Both cars were beyond saving. Well, not entirely beyond saving, but beyond me saving them, because there are too many issues on the go. But you know that if you've been watching the videos, and if you haven't, that is what these updates are all about. And now of course we have Alfie, Project Alfie, my rather lovely Rover 45, which has been in daily use for over a month now, because I got fed up with driving the Custard missile. This is much nicer. This is more me. The only trouble is I wash it and then suddenly it's just dirty again, almost the next day, which is quite disappointing. That's the only disappointing thing about this car though, because it does drive fantastically and I do just enjoy having it. What more can I say? I'd happily keep this car for a very long time. Just under 40,000 miles now, and I've done almost 1,500 miles in it myself. No problems anywhere. Still haven't fitted a stereo, not really bothered. I've given the engine bay a clean, and it needs a bit more, but it does look quite a bit better than it did do previously. Still a few marks here and there everywhere, but I will be having another go with this because this is going to be, well, my show car for a while. Yes, on the 16th of this month it should be going to its first show. Looking forward to that. There is just one more car to talk about, but before I do that, let's go into my stores, because there's been quite a lot going on in here recently. In fact, only just recently. Yeah, past few days in fact, I've been in here doing lots and lots of organising things, and you know what, it's actually helped. Yep, it has, it's helped. I'm quite pleased by that. So yeah, I'll just carry on trying to do maybe an hour every day, sorting things out just a little bit more, and eventually I'll get to this rather spotless place where I know exactly where everything is, and I'll never have to turn down a sale ever again. Yeah, the biggest news of the month comes from lovely Nigel. Poor little Nigel. Nigel's locked away inside at the moment, not for any real reason, could be left out here, but I felt sorry for him. I felt really sorry for the poor little chap, so for the moment he's come to live inside. And as you may well know, poor little Nigel has indeed been diagnosed with head gasket failure. It's a tricky one for me to admit this, but 2 years back I put a Facebook post up saying that this car will outlive anything that anybody else has got, and pretty much everybody ignored that post except for my one friend who's got an Audi A6 with nearly 400,000 miles on it. He said, I'll give you a challenge. But in actual fact, it hasn't broken down, it's just a bit poorly. It still starts. I could start this up and drive it right now. I could drive it wherever I want, but you know, obviously it's not running quite as well as it should do. Just when you start it, it's a bit lumpy, and then you rev it and it's fine. So I haven't lost that bet yet, and the fact is it's going to be fixed before it's entirely broken, because many people, what they would do is they would drive the car and just carry on until eventually it actually stops altogether, and that is what you call a breakdown. That isn't. Not quite anyway. Obviously Nigel's not going to end up in the parts bin. This car will be fixed. It doesn't really matter what goes wrong with it, it will end up getting fixed. But it's just such a shame. I was really looking forward to going to all these shows in this car this year, and you know, I don't know how many I will be able to go in this car because I don't know exactly when I'll be fixing it, but it will be getting fixed. Yeah, it will. And that is about it for the updates for this month, really. I might just add that the trolley has been in daily use. The bench hasn't really been used for its intended purpose just yet. The fridge still works. The kettle still works. The microwave and the toaster still work. The bench still looks like an elephant. And I still have a light missing up there. And there is one other thing I suppose I could talk about, and that would be the channel, this channel. Because, you know, I managed to upset a couple of people in the past month, but that's always the risk when you make videos. But what about something positive? I had this idea of selling my music as ringtones by offering my email address, and you say which tune you want and I send it to you, and you can make a donation to the channel. Now I'll be posting a video about that in the next few days. I did think I could have all of the tunes I've done so far, but there's going to be about 200 of them, so that's too many. So I might just do them in series of 10 at a time. And if you want them, you know what to do. So for now, bye bye, and keep watching. Wait a minute, I always said that music was never going to be a part of this video.